Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, the 4th of November, and with the recent price action in the S&P, I thought it's good to record a video, just giving an update on what's been happening in the markets or in the S&P 500 and the SPYDERS on a Ichimoku cloud chart basis. So let's kick off with the S&P 500. What's interesting, this week we've been selling off after we lost support here at the bottom end of the cloud, sliced right through, and then it was racing down to hit the old support levels, the resistance levels that turned into support. The first one there failed at 210. The next one is here at 209. That one failed yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to find support coming back into the market at the 209 level. Fail that, we're looking at 208 as the next cloud support level. And that support level comes from this cloud chart shadow here, basically. Okay. All right. So from a big picture perspective, we have a downtrend in place if you look at the front end of the cloud, and that's not turned around yet. And this downside the weakness can last right down to the top end of the cloud. Now, the weekly cloud still shows we have an uptrend in place, and we have this major support zone here at 202, 197, and the bottom end of the cloud here at 197. So there's a significant support zone there. I expect a short-term rebound as these old highs here, significant resistance that now could turn into significant support. So we can possibly see a relief rally today or early part of next week, and that rally can last back to the bottom end of the cloud here. Okay, but overall, short-term downtrend on a daily chart basis, looking for a rebound at this cloud chart support zone at 209. So it's going to be critical to see if the market can retrace and consolidate at this level. Okay. If we look at the other financial services, the ETF, looking at the daily one, sold off, broke through the cloud last week, sold off now, found support at the top end of the cloud here at 30.89. So we're at a key support area, so we could see a rebound from there for the year-end rally. But overall, the front end of the cloud shows that there's significant resistance area at 31.20 here, so it could roll over to the downside. Okay, but watch this week, absolutely critical this week. Materials, yeah, stuck below the cloud, downtrend in place. This rally can run into support at the top end of the cloud here. Watch the 45, 55 level. If we test that level of support comes back in, we could rally back up because the weekly cloud is still showing somewhat of a uptrend. But the daily, unfortunately, price actions below the cloud. Cloud is new resistance zone, and we're going to hit these old lows looking for support. Real estate, that's also stuck in a downtrend. I would see, interesting to see if it's going to be, so we're at the cloud, testing the bottom end of the cloud for support. So if there's going to be a rebound, it can come from these old cloud chart support zones. Okay. Front end of the cloud still not twisted. We haven't seen a sell signal from a front end cloud perspective, but we could see a rebound if it gets 29.50 and then rebound from those areas. But you can see we've lost significant support here at 30.76. 29.95 is the next area to test, and then 29.15. So we might see a rebound around the 29, just slightly above the $29 level. Okay. Consumer discretionary, yeah, looking for support at the top end of the weekly cloud. Daily cloud stuck in a downtrend now on the cloud chart basis. Lost support here at the cloud chart support zone, the old cloud chart support zone, that significant support zone. We're now testing the August of 2016 for support. And these are old lows support zones. So we're getting closer to support. So we might see a rebound there and then rebounding from that area back up to the bottom end of the cloud. But what is interesting here is that we are looking for support at the top end of the weekly cloud. So consumer discretionary looking interesting on a rebound on top of the cloud. Consumer staples, very similar situation, also looking for support at the top end of the cloud. If support holds here, we might have a nice rally back up to the top end of the cloud for resistance. So that could be the year-end rally. Daily chart, price actions below the cloud. We're fighting for support at all cloud chart support levels. Watch this 5170 level as a key support area for a possible rebound. But the cloud indicates that there's more downside to come. We now know from the weekly cloud that downside is at 52 testing, and then another significant level would be at 48.72. So there is downside risk within the cloud, but what we take comfort in is this support zone just above the 49, 48 support zone. Okay. Energy sector, that's above the cloud, the weekly cloud, that's positive. So the top end of the cloud, yes, a key support zone. Daily, we're drifting below the cloud, so we need to see support come back in here. It tends to rebound from the cloud just below the cloud. So any kind of buy signal coming through on a MACD or stochastic momentum to the upside should signal a nice entry point on the daily chart. But very narrow chart, not a lot of support. I would much rather take the buy signals from the top end of the cloud, so we're getting pretty close to that level. So watch how it rebounds from that area, then we might go higher. So very, very close to a entry level there. Financials, looking at resistance here at the top end of the cloud. Old cloud, I call it cloud chart shadow. Old resistance areas is now a significant resistance zone on a weekly chart. Daily, interestingly bouncing off the top end of the cloud. So any kind of support coming in and around that cloud support level at 1933 and 1955 can be a nice entry point for a rebound back up. And then that rally can last up to the top end of the cloud resistance at $20. Okay. Healthcare in a little bit of trouble on a weekly basis, slice through the bottom end of the cloud, slice through a significant support area. The next level to watch is this low there. So we could see a rebound if it gets to within that trading range there for support. And we can look at that line there. So it's getting within that zone. Expect a rebound as it's trying to find support at the bottom end of the cloud there. Daily is not looking good. We're still in free fall here. We're looking at these old zones here, old cloud chart support zones for a entry level here. Then a rebound back to the bottom end of the cloud for the resistance test there. But not looking too good on a daily cloud chart basis. Industrial spiders, getting closer to a key support area at the bottom end of the cloud. Could see a rebound from there back up to the bottom end of the cloud there. Cloud span BA actually, because that's in a downtrend. Front cloud indicates more downside to come. And if we look at the weekly one, we can see testing the old highs for support and testing the April and June highs for support. Downside risk is back down to the bottom end of the cloud here and the top end of the cloud there. So there is still significant downside risk before the year-end rally, but still we could see support coming in here, bouncing off the top end of the cloud, and then it's going to rally back up to the bottom end of the cloud there. Okay. Technology taking a hammering here, sliced through the bottom end of the cloud. Front cloud still not switched over to a sell signal, but we have weakness here. It could rebound here from the 45.82 level, so watch out for rebound there. Where is that 40? Right, it's back down here, testing 44.65. It could test the old highs here for support, significant support, so it could come back there before we rally into the end of the year. So there's still some significant weakness to come there. Right, and then the last one, utilities. Stuck below the cloud. Could rebound back to the bottom end of the cloud for resistance. Weekly. Yeah, look for it interesting at 46.95 or 46.60. Could be a nice entry point on a rebound if support comes back in. Watch the MACD there for a trading signal as it rebounds from the top end of the cloud for support. Okay, so all in all, market in trouble, looking at old support levels here in the S&P, the spider, and then a rebound for the year-end rally back to the bottom end of the cloud. Okay, but watch those as key levels, and there's still some significant downside here, but we could see a cluster of support coming in around the 200 and 220, 205, 202 or 205 levels. Okay. Thank you, everyone. That's the wrap for the SPYDER ETFs.